Hi, today some fingers will be broken. What's up guys, welcome back to yet another video. Today is probably one of the coolest flies out there, but also one of the hardest, so I hope you're up for the challenge. Today we're tying a perfect Leo shrimp, and it is a fly that has been developed by the good Karen Leo Lund from Denmark. It's just an awesome fly, and if you can nail it, it looks like the real thing. So there's nothing much else to say about it. It's just a superb fly, really great fly design. So let me try the best that I can to show you how to tie this shrimp pattern. So the hook and the vise here is from Eric's Hooks, of course, and I believe the original one was tied on a hook from a Jensen or something like that. It doesn't really matter that much. You could do it on a Gamakatsu F314 or in this case the 122, as long as it's a light stinger like this one. And I like to kind of put a bend into the hook like this, just with a pair of pliers, just give it a little bit of a bend. And what that will do, it will help to get you the right proportions. So, and here's something you don't see me do that often, which is tie in some weight on the fly. But because this fly has a lot of stuff going on the top of the hook, it tends to flip over on the side a little bit. So to stop it from doing that, I just want to tie in a few strands of non-lead wire here. And then I can also show you, I get a lot of questions on the tying thread that I use. It's this one here. Let me see if I have one here. No, but I do have one over here. You just caught me red-handed in doing what the most business people were doing during lockdowns. Looking good only on the top half, and underneath I was just wearing my shorts here. I didn't give it a thought, but okay, I'm also just a human. So the thread I'm using is this one here from Vivas. This one is obviously black, but I like to use the white one. And let me just demonstrate how strong this thread is by tying in a strand underneath the hook here of the non-lead wire. And look, if you just pull a thread like this, you can just pull it straight through that wire, which is really amazing. So you don't have to destroy your good scissors. Get one more on here, like so. And I hope you have your coffee, whoops, it broke. Your coffee or your rum or your whiskey or whatever at hand, because this is going to be one of those longer videos, because there's a lot of steps involved in this fly. So I hope you guys stick around, and I hope that YouTube doesn't throw in too many ads. They probably will. But that's just how it is sometimes. I need to fund this channel somehow, so ads is one way to go. Right, so here I've tied in the lead on the underside of the hook there, which will help it ride the right way in the water. So let's start building up this fly here. The dubbing I'm using is STF dub in the color Golden Honey, which is my absolute favorite color from the STF range. So just slam that on there. It doesn't have to be pretty because as you guys know, you want to build up that head of the fly to make it look like a shrimp. So scruff out that first layer here. Like so. Pull it forwards like this and tie on top of it all the way to right around this point here. And then just have a look how things are setting. It's a lot more. So let me just do that. And this is just one of those flies you need to build up in stages, right? And I always say it, that if you use the extra time on the head, the rest is easy. That is not the case with this fly. Things just get, I wouldn't say a lot harder, but they don't get easier as you go along. So you have been warned. It is a fun tie, or a fun fly to tie though. So same thing, pull the fibers forwards and then just up to right around that point here. So here you can see the head taking shape already. And now is the time to tie in the first pair of legs. And it is this rubber material here from Wapsi. Let me just flash my shorts again here. It's this one here, the round rib, in size small, which is like 5.5 millimeters in thickness. And what you do is you take out a piece and you make an overhand knot on it, and that will give you the impression of a leg that is jointed. So get your tying thread to that point around the hook tip there, the hook point. Get one pair of legs up underneath and see how it's sitting before you do anything. Then just, you can also swoop, spin these a little bit. Now, and if you're a perfectionist like me, this will annoy the hell out of you, because these legs will try to spin on you whenever you pull the thread. So you really have to practice this. So that's one pair in. Let's get another one. Same thing, get it behind your thread, move it up to the point where you want it, twist it a little bit. When you're happy, just kind of pull up on the thread like this, and it should stay. There we go. I know Ken uses his fingernails, but I bite mine, and don't ask me why. It's just how it is, how it always has been. It comes and goes. So I need to work around that somehow. Okay, so that's one pair of legs in there. So just want to secure those a little bit. Cut these off. Get some more dubbing, cover up this tie-in point here, and that will also help to push the legs forwards a little bit so they don't stick out like that. I think it needs a little bit more. Like so. And just work with the materials for every step here. That will really help the final product. Okay, so now is the time to put in some shrimp eyes. You can of course make your own, but since these came out, the Easy Shrimp Eyes in extra small, I've been using only those. I always thought the previous version, the normal ones, were too big. At least for this size of a fly, which is it's a size 4 hook, so it's not that big. But then again, shrimps around here aren't that big. Like they can get this big or a little bit bigger, but the eyes are perfect for that size. Okay, so let's get some more legs in. Same thing, get it behind the thread here. And lengthwise, you kind of want them to be a little bit shorter than the previous ones. So same thing, pull up on your thread, like so. And here you can see what I'm looking at. Hope you can see it. So you can leave these fairly long or a little bit shorter than I'm doing here. It's just a matter of personal taste. But this will of course add a lot of movement to the fly if you leave them a little bit longer. And of course they're going to be tangling a little bit. But on a fly like this, it doesn't really matter that much. That's the second pair of legs tied in there. Just work with it. There we go. Cut this off. Tighten that down. And I guess you could use these. I have some lying around here. These Easy Shrimp legs, which come on these. They're pre-molded. You just have to cut them out like of this thing here. See them here, but I haven't really figured out a way to get these in the perfect way in a fly like this. I have for the glass shrimp, which will be a video coming soon. But for this fly, it's going to be the old school way, if you can say that. And the fly obviously needs a rib, which should have been done before I tied in this pair of legs, but I think I can just cheat my way a little bit here, get it in anyway. So let's get that rib in. Kind of get it in front of that leg right there. There we go. So yes, it worked. Right. So on with the fly here. some more dubbing in. And also you could just make a little base layer like like I'm always doing. And that will give you something for the legs to latch onto. So if you have a little layer of dubbing on that part where the next legs will be tied in, that will help. To get them in, it will help them to stay put. So just brush out a little bit on the top only here. Quickly thread up to right around this point here, I think. Yes. I'm gonna get the rib out of the way here. Same thing. Just pull these a little bit, pull straight up on the thread, and that way it won't spin on you unless you use your fingernails, which I can't. This one is a little bit off. See that? So now I can demonstrate how I make the legs. So just cut off a small piece like this, make an overhand knot, like so, and then just pull that tight. Use a little bit of water or saliva to stop it from getting hot and turn on you, because if this rubber gets too hot, it will just look like this. So that's what happened with the pair I just wanted to tie in there. Get this on. Straight up. Make sure it's secured. One thing you can do here, if you don't want to bend your hook like I've done, is for every pair of legs or whatever you tie in here, if you cut it off, so let me just show it here. If you tie it down so it sits on top of the hook like this, and you cut it off around this point at an angle, that will naturally build up a small bump here on the hook. You can kind of see I've been doing it here, so it really exaggerates that humpback kind of thing that a shrimp has. Humpback? Isn't that a whale? Hunchback. It's a hunchback. This stand right here, okay? Okay, so looking at the fly, I think I want to tie in some longer hairs for the feelers or the antennas or whatever you want to call those things that a shrimp has up in front. For that I will be using this big fly fiber, which looks like, don't even go there. It looks like human hair on the head, okay? I know what you guys were thinking. So take a small amount here, kind of place that on top here, a little bit longer than the STF dub there. And don't worry about this not being tied down all the way in front here, because we still have that rib in there which will hold it down. But I want these fibers to be incorporated in the last amount of dubbing here. So they will not be lying on top of the back of the shrimp, you could say. It will be incorporated within the dubbing. So now we need to get in the last pair of legs, which will be dangling around all the way out in front here. And the way Ken does this is he does this, not does. How does he do it? It's not yet. It is not yet. I haven't tied this fly in a long time. So, of course, we need to cover up the rest of the body here with a base layer, like I always do. And up here, a few more turns in where you tied in that third pair of legs, like so, and then just work your way down again. So there we go. Now is the time to tie in those legs. Back here. I think I'll just use the same technique. On top of the hook, like this. So one is pointing backwards and one forwards. You'll see a really nice trick. Like this. And then you can kind of make a small loop down here. Oh, these legs are so finicky at times. So just pull them out to the sides a little bit like this. So now they are on the side of the hook, the top half side of the hook. And then just make a small loop with this. Get one loose turn in, work with it a little bit. Same thing for this one here. Sure these two loops are equally big. And now you've made yourself a really cool looking little shrimp tail here. You see it there? And then hold all of these legs. So these 4 forward pointing rubber legs will now act as a shrimp back. But I want to brush out a little bit of this dubbing before I do it. And here you can really see what I meant with incorporating that big fly fiber into the dubbing. So get all 4 of these legs on top here and hold them like this. And now you want to find that rib. Where is it? It's in front of the ouch. So here it is. I guess this is the hardest part, apart from the legs. So gather all 4 and they need to be side by side. Okay, they don't you have to be careful that they are not twisted. Man, that was hard to say. Because otherwise you can't make the legs with them up in front here. So if you have that first turn in, pull them a little bit before you pull that rib tight. And then just work your way through the fly. Make sure they are on top here. Pull it really nice and tight. See if I can get a turn in here right around this point. Yes. And one more down here. And then just get all of this out of the way if you can. Catch that rib with tying thread. Make sure it's nice and tight on there, because if you cut it at this point, the fly is destroyed. Okay. So this is kind of a critical moment here. And one thing you can do, which I just did, is to cut it off a little bit too long and then just catch it with your tying thread. So here we go. And then you can just move this around a little bit until you're happy. So now we have 4 forward-facing rubber legs here. Here's 1, 2, 3, and where's the 4th one? It's in here. And you want to have one long on the left side of the shrimp and one long one on the right side on the shrimp, okay? And the 2 ones here in the middle. Let's start with those. Grab those. These will also become a part of the feelers and the head of the shrimp here. So got these in the middle, just right around where, a little bit, I guess a little bit longer than the eyes. And then get an overhand knot in. Okay, so my video just cut out there because of the length. Apparently my cameras can only record for 30 minutes and then they shut off. But luckily I noticed it. So what I did was I took one of the longest, I cut off the 2 in the middle, you saw that, and then I made an overhand knot on the outside rubber leg, and I will do that on the other side here, the right side of the shrimp, if you're looking at it like I am. So let's get an overhand knot in here on that side. You can see it here. Moisten your fingers a little bit, put it on that knot, and then you can take your dubbing needle, put it into the knot like this, and then you can slide it up or down by pulling, so you get it where you want it. Here we go. And now these legs are obviously way too long, as you can see here, but I will cut them when the fly is entirely done. So that's that, and the fly is almost done at this point. These are looking so cool. These turned out really well, actually. Okay, so let's get a whip finish in here before my camera is cut out again. One whip finish. Let's get a second one in here. Cut off the tying thread, like so. And then I want to color the legs and the back of the shrimp. You can leave this step out if you don't want to. And then at this point, all you need to do is to trim the legs to the length that you prefer, and the fly would be done. So if you don't want to color your shrimp, you would be done at this point. But I like to color this just because it looks so cool. It really adds a lot of life to the fly. So a little bit of orange here and there, just a few dabs on the legs. I colored the entire leg all the way out here, and I will be cutting it either way, so that was kind of silly. And I like to start with the knot, and then just work your way . And also, if you that's why I like to start with the knot, because then it's kind of easier to work away from the knot and out on the legs. At least that's what I think. So I always start with the knot. And this one will be getting some blue on the legs as well, so I'm leaving the space of this orange quite big, or the space between the dots, you could say. So here, start with the knot. Back here as well, kind of in the groove of where your rib was, and then on the tail here, just I guess dots. Like so. And the cool thing about this, this is from Shinhan Art. You can get these on Amazon. I will link a few down below. Touch, they're called. It has I guess they're for painters. But the cool thing about some of these that they are fluorescent, right? So if you believe in that kind of stuff, this just makes the fly. It takes the fly to a whole nother level. If you look at it this way. So let's get on to the blue one here. This isn't fluorescent, but it looks so cool with that orange. And here I just want to dab in between the orange ones. In here. So one here, one there, here, here. Man, this looks so deadly. Last pair, and the fly is done. Okay, so all there's left to do now is just to, I think it needs a little bit more dark here on the back. Just take a brown one here. Cover that tying thread back there. Here we go. So get a dab of color in there. And you can really see it here. Those legs are really, this fly looks alive in the vise here. Let's brush out that belly, because there's a lot of nice dubbing in here. It needs to be scruffed out a little bit. So brush that out and forwards. And when this gets wet, it gets really transparent. It really mixes so nice with the fly. So get those legs out a little bit so they stand here. Here we go. Can't wait to photograph this one. So here you have a finished perfect Leo shrimp. Obviously need to trim the legs before I send you guys off. My longer scissors here, so just trim these off so they gradually go from shorter in the back and then slightly becoming longer and longer. Did I just cut off the knot there? No. All good. there. These two ones here in front, I don't know, let's keep those a bit longer. So here you have it. Let me get that out of the vise so you can see it properly. So this is what it looks like on the top. From my side always gets prettier. So here it is. Perfect. Whoa. Perfect Leo shrimp. If you made it to the end of this video, give yourself a pat on the shoulder there, because it is a fairly long one. It's a fun one, and it's a killer fly, I promise you that. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please make sure you do that. Hit the bell so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. Also the thumbs up, so the algorithm pushes my video up a little bit and helps the channel. Please do check some of the links down below for the markers and the member section and all that. And I will see you guys in the next video.